2022 was a banger for games. Here's 15 of the games I'm looking forward to the most this year. Also let me know what you're looking forward to the most in the comments. Starting off with the big one, Final Fantasy XVI. It's been a while since a single player Final Fantasy has looked so appetizing. Summons return to the forefront of the story where they belong, and the story itself looks a lot darker and more mature, with a few inspirations clearly taken from Game of Thrones. The real reason I'm excited for 16 is its producer, Yoshi-P. So this is the guy behind the resurrection and success of Final Fantasy XIV, which has gone on to win Best Ongoing Game for 3 years in a row at the Game Awards. If Yoshi-P is able to translate his success into this new single-player Final Fantasy, we're gonna have something very special here. Hey, I'm trying to grow the channel. My goal is to reach 1000 subs, so any support would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Fire Emblem Engage is one of the first notable releases of 2023, and it might already be out by the time you're watching this. We can't go wrong with more turn-based Fire Emblem. At this time your home is the floating island of Sommonel, where you can manage or hang out with your troops. The big gimmick this time is the ability to summon legendary Fire Emblem heroes from previous games to join you. It's something we've technically been able to do a little in the past, but this new system is a lot more fleshed out here.
I am known as Marth, Emblem Marth, to be clear. It is good to see you.
Hey, it's 2023 and you know what? I am excited for the next Assassin's Creed game. Why? Well, I'm a little burnt out by Ubisoft's open world formula, and Mirage promises to return to the roots of the series, as well as a much smaller open world and a bigger focus on stealth, parkour and assassinations. You know, actual assassin stuff. And speaking of open world games, Breath of the Wild is one of the few games that plays to the strength of the open world genre. Of course, the next big Zelda game should be on everyone's radar, just for being Zelda. But Tears of the Kingdom promises more verticality in its open world, through travelling the skies. Fingers crossed, Nintendo have learned from their mistakes with Breath of the Wild's dungeons, and we could easily have another killer game on the Switch. I've put thousands of countless hours into the Diablo series. Well, the main games. Hopefully that trend continues with Diablo IV. One of the nerdy reasons I'm excited is that big beefy talent trees return. Skill runes were pretty decent with Diablo 3, but I'm more of a talent tree kind of guy. D4 is launching with some pretty awesome classes like Druid and Necromancer, but what has most players concerned are the signs of heavy monetization, and the fact that the series will be transitioning from an ARPG to more like an MMO, where you'll come across other players out in the field, and you'll be able to participate in things like public quests. Definitely something I'm going to have to play and judge for myself, but praying to the dark gods this will be good. Baldur's Gate 3 plans to come out of early access this year, and oh, it's going to be good. If you're unfamiliar, this is just basically Dungeons & Dragons, and these kind of games are a lot of fun to play co-op with friends, but you've got to treat it like you're actually playing tabletop Dungeons & Dragons. You'll even need to vote on dialogue options as a party, and it can be a lot of fun when opinions clash. Larian Studios have a track record of tailoring their games and stories around your custom characters' unique skills and talents. Everyone can contribute in different ways to complete quests. Maybe as a necromancer I could speak to the dead to get clues for our quests. Very much looking forward to fully playing this co-op this year. Octopath Traveler 2 is another early 2023 release, and I'm excited for this because this time it promises for more intertwining stories between its 8 protagonists. The lack of this was a pretty major criticism with its predecessor. While there were good stories, your party members barely interacted with each other. So as an RPG fanatic, I'm genuinely looking forward to this. And that 2.5D art style is amazing. Who would have thought those lightning effects and light rays would look so good on 2D? So Starfield was due last year, and we've only seen very limited gameplay. But Bethesda have recently confirmed that they're still aiming for a release within the first half of this year. Imagine Elder Scrolls or Fallout but in space. The devs promise a focus on more hardcore RPG elements like in-depth character creation, backstories, character traits, and this will be 3 times the size of Skyrim, and feature double the dialogue. But at the same time I'm expecting loads of bugs being a Bethesda game. Let's just hope it just works. The original was a pretty fantastic survival horror, so yes, I am excited for the Dead Space remake, albeit it is a bit on the expensive side for a faithful remake that focuses on updating the visuals. I'm thinking this will be a good opportunity to sneak in some new surprises or jump scares. All we have to go for the Lords of the Fallen is a cinematic. It's a pretty epic one, giving you a sense of the epic lore-rich world. That alone is enough to have Souls fans hyped. This will be a reboot of the original 2014 release, which received mixed reviews, but I enjoyed it. I love RPGs and Souls-likes, so I'm keeping an eye on this one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is actually scheduled for winter this year, but I'm expecting this one to be delayed to next year. Fingers crossed just in case. Obviously it's hard to talk about this one without spoilers, being part 2 of Final Fantasy VII. I am praying this is good and Square Enix don't screw this up. They're promising to feature all the main storylines, major events, and locations from the original game, which has me hopeful. After years of questionable games and practices from EA, something rose up out of the darkness. We finally got something good. Jedi Fallen Order. A pretty awesome Star Wars RPG with Souls-like elements with some pretty epic ties to the universe. Now with Jedi Survivor, I'm really looking forward to see how characters recruited in the previous game are going to play into the story going forward. And hell, I love Souls-like design. Speaking of Souls-likes, Hollow Knight Silksong. We've been waiting for this one for far too long. While the original had some incredible Metroidvania-like level design and jaw-dropping boss battles, the world itself was awesome. It just had this goosebump-inducing atmosphere. If Silksong can recapture any of this, it's gonna be great. The remake of System Shock was aiming for a release last year, and like a lot of games it's been delayed. If you're unfamiliar, this sci-fi horror is set in space, and after waking from a 6-month coma, you're on board a Citadel station, where things have become a horror show. Your only companion is kind of also your antagonist, a creepy artificial intelligence. I love Bioshock 1 and 2, which are considered spiritual successors to System Shock, so I'm excited to experience System Shock for the first time with updated visuals. Hogwarts Legacy. Christ on a bike, another 2022 game delayed into this year. I'm excited because it looks like this RPG really captures the essence and world of Harry Potter, far more than anything we've had in the past. Can you remember when Harry Potter games were influenced by Call of Duty and became all about shooting mechanics? That was kinda crazy. Again, a feature I'm really curious about is the Room of Requirement, which allows you to grow plants, craft, and seemingly customize your own cottage and garden. If you're like me and hate all that microtransaction stuff, Hogwarts Legacy promises none of that nasty stuff. It's just seemingly a quality RPG. Sign me up. I think that was 15. Of course, there's plenty more games on the way, and you've got stuff like Hades 2, which has yet to announce any release window yet. Let me know what games you're looking forward to the most this year in the comments, and peace.